It's a minor accident. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering?
Absolutely.
Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. This obstacle sat in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom, we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my bloodstream. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I back gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. There was designed fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, that.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it post. You see me, they like, ooh, chemo shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, chemo shopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like that, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. So I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Keep on sobbing, got this bitch off the hand, got this juice, got the niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it cost coming up on my I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settling? See, you locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's one West. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fucking scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black block, red drum, black and yellow air ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest. I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was growing up, doing a lot of talking. Now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit, lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third, lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all stepping, kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, what you doing life. These hands are rude GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a cod. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowing by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with cap again. Yeah, they said they want smoking, so we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it cost shit. See me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. I'm on my way. Coming up on my divorce.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put billions of my houses. Yes, you said. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle sat in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Look, ain't no no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback to bitch in his dress. She a bombshell. Revenge is served cold. I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. There was design five for our babies to pass through it. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Might as well just throw that on. Ain't nobody wearing it right now. Let me know when I'm up and running. We on a roadcaster now? All right. Yeah, if you want, you could just test the sound in the headset. But all right, this is Thursday night class, and yeah, if you want, you could just test the head. Yeah, we'll just give us 1 second. We just ironing out some technical difficulties. All right, Most High Christ. All right, the water for joining us tonight. This is the ISUPK. I'm the Commander General Yohana. We have been called to teach so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and Native American people that we are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And tonight's class is going to be on the scripture breakdown. And let me know if we got anybody in the chat. I know this might be the today's date. They might be in other classes because, you know, we have classes all around. But let me know if we got any comments in the chat, and I'll see if I can answer their question. And if I'm not, you know, able to do it tonight, we'll get to it, or I'll have somebody follow up. All right. So what we watching on TV now? Like, what we watching? We watching, everybody watching sports, right? We watching sports. What's the most popular betting site we got out right now? If brothers know.
Bet Rivers.
It's called what now?
You said the most popular betting.
Yeah, like betting. Like, what's the sites everybody goes to?
Bet Rivers.
Bet Rivers. Okay, I've never heard of that one. What's another one?
What's the football? I can't think.
Not sure, but I know a lot of banks were having problems with people putting bets on their credit cards. I forgot what company it was with, but they would decline the transactions. I heard about that. So we talking about sports, and a lot of what's going on is for money. But yeah, we gonna get into that. You had a question?
I was gonna say DraftKings.
That's it right there. DraftKings. That's the one. DraftKings. So the sports, you get interested in the sports. You want to, bet on your team. You know, everybody believes that they are a, professor when it comes to the arts of sports. You know, so they think they know and they can hit a parlay. But what you might not understand is that the oppressor is the devil, and he's going to make sure that he always wins more than you, whether it costs people's livelihood, whether it costs their actual life. So betting, depending on how much money you spend, it almost might be like throwing money in the trash. What else we got on TV? We got those shows that were formed, like the reality shows, like The Real World and all that stuff. We got these weird books that, the audiobook sisters are reading with the sexual escapades. It's a lot going on. The term for it, with in some circles is called the Roman circus. And what it is a distraction. There are books that you can read that'll give you a perspective on what's really happening. And it contradicts exactly what the oppressor is telling you, because the oppressor is telling you lies on a daily basis. The oppressor will tell you that they are bombing boats that are carrying drugs, but those boats don't even have the capacity to carry any large amount of cargo, nor do they have the capacity to get across the waters to where they were saying they would be delivered. But without stepping outside of being entertained, you might not have the critical thinking skills to understand that you're being lied to. If somebody could get me 2 Timothy 2:15, because at a certain point, once you come across us, once the Lord reveals it to you, there is no option to say, well, I didn't know, because the scriptures say, study thyself approved. At one point in time, we weren't allowed to read. I might read something out of this book here. We read a lot of books. We go into the scriptures. The Bible does not need anything placed with it. But for somebody that might not be as spiritual, somebody that might need to, hear with a carnal ear, we do have different books and stuff. But this particular one I might read, but there's 1,000 books that can give you a secular point of reference that the Most High is real and everything he's ever said is real. But if I could, let me get 2 Timothy 2:15. You was gonna read it? No sweat. You can just slide up right there. Both of y'all could run the boards. Because we might get a podcast jumping soon. We need brothers to be able to run the boards and speak their mind at the same time.
Come. This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God.
Most High Christ. Let me get there with you. So we have 2 Timothy, and go ahead and read it again from the top.
Verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God.
So study to show thyself approved unto God. So hold on, let me see. When it's saying study thyself approved, what exactly does that mean to y'all? When it says study thyself to be approved?
I'm Slagia, sir. I'm gonna say to be accepted, or you studying to be approved by the Most High.
Absolutely. The scripture says, study to show thyself approved unto God. You have to prove yourself to God. A lot of things that we see in the Christian church are all talk, and we're conditioned to just have a loud mouth with nothing behind it. People say, support black business, support black business, support black business. But the minute something goes wrong with that black business, you're going right back to the large corporate entity that you used to go to that F's up your order on a weekly basis. But you really don't complain. You might yell at the person behind the counter. You might, make a post on Facebook here and there, but you don't totally disregard the business. Now, some businesses, some of our black businesses do need polish on, but we need to get to a point to where we were before integration. And unless we study the scriptures, we wouldn't know that, because we believe in capitalism. We believe in following whatever the oppressor says. But if you know the scriptures, if you study yourself approved, then you would know what scripture tells us to gather ourselves together.
Zephaniah 2:1.
Zephaniah 2:1. That brother studied. He proved himself right then and there. He got a smirk on his face because he knew he was going to get it right. Most High Christ. But Zephaniah 2:1 says, study, or Salakia says, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. I'm paraphrasing. But without studying in the Bible, you would think that you need to be in this melting pot or in this false utopia that has been, drilled into our heads. What does the Statue of Liberty say? Doesn't it say, come all nations, bring all your sick. If somebody could find that quote for me with the Statue of Liberty, that's an evil thing. The reason why that would be an evil thing is because if, let's say, if you're taking your kid to a daycare and there's 1,000 kids there, and on the surface, the daycare is saying, yeah, bring your children here, bring them all. I don't care if they're sick, we'll take care of them. I don't care if you don't have any money, this, that, and the fourth. And then when you get there, not only are you getting charged late fees, not only are they talking bad about you when you bring a child there sick, but they're mistreating your child. Does not America mistreat us? Does not America not allow us the proper health care that we deserve? All these nations that come in to the United States, but somehow Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the ones that are mistreated the most. And then you have people that try to point and say, well, everybody gets mistreated. Well, we have to start turning that around. We have to start turning that language around on them, because once you start reading the scriptures, you become wise. When they said, when somebody said Charlie Kirk's life mattered, because I'm wise, because I've become wise under the tutelage of the men above me, I said, when they said Charlie Kirk's life mattered, I said all lives matter. Because isn't that what they said to us? Like we should be able to, with our words, turn on their own heads what they gave to us the entire time. When they start talking about, their farmers losing jobs, be studied enough, be wise enough to say, well, them farmers need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Right. Because when we weren't provided opportunities, when we were taken for granted and we created all these avenues that were stripped from us, we weren't able to have anything said to us except for, you need to stop complaining and asking for a handout, when our hands were tied up with the master's work. Go ahead, let's get that one more time from the top.
You want the scripture?
Second Timothy, if I could get that from you. And what did I ask you to look up? I'd ask you to look up what the Statue of Liberty says. Yeah, if you could.
You want the Statue of Liberty first?
Please. Baba Kashab.
Khan, this is the AI overview for the Statue of Liberty quote. The most famous quote associated with the Statue of Liberty is from the poem The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus. Mm-hmm. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breath free. Mm-hmm. The wretch refused of your teeming shore.
Didn't they call us the wretch? They called us something similar, like a harrowing slave, like what was it? The national? Is it the national anthem? I'm pushing stuff together because I have so much that I wanted to cover. But that's what's describing us. But in order for that to apply to you and you to benefit from it, your skin has to be different. Right. Your forefathers can't come from where our forefathers came. You can't have a lineage that is rooted in the transatlantic slave trade. Is there any more on that?
Lie, sir.
No sweat. That's why you have to study yourselves approved, because if you don't even look back into history to know the truth, the fact that they used to eat us, how can you know where we're going? There's a book called The Delectable Negro. Read it, study it. It's going to show you the oppressor was an absolute monster, and it's going to show you that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Because without reading, without understanding what's going on all around you, somebody can continually lie to you, and you'll believe it. Let me get that 2 Timothy 2:15 one more time.
This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed.
Yeah, if we read these scriptures the way we're supposed to, if we get in class, if we get on them streets and hit them corners with these precepts, we have the strength of the Most High God, and we don't have to be ashamed. Even though they've tried to put us on the bottom of the totem pole, even though they've taken, I almost said something else, but I'm gonna say masculinity, because a lot of us are walking around here emasculated from what the devil has done to us. We got to get in constant arguments, with our significant others, our ribs. We got to go onto the job and be talked down to by some oppressor that knows less than us. We're in a situation to where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can be in a job, they can be the expert, but you're gonna end up training your supervisor or your manager to be over top of you.
Right.
And unless you know that in the scriptures it tells you that the devil is going to continue to use you and use you and use you, you can just see that through the history of what's happened. That devil's going to use you. Some brothers are able to work a job where they don't have to worry about some weird obnoxious oppressor telling them what to do every day. They don't have to worry about, some, sister that's been turned against you in the workplace. Because a lot of times that can happen too. But it says, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. Continue. Rightfully dividing.
Rightfully dividing the word of truth.
How can you do that unless you study? Unless you study, you won't know that the scriptures say this needs to be broken down precept upon precept, line upon line. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Let's get that. And while we get that, Locker Rob, did you get that text message I sent you? I try to, use it as a bookmarker.
All
right, Most High Christ the water.
I got the
precept upon precept, line upon line.
Got your precept too.
All right, Most High Christ, just let them know where you at. You go ahead and kick it off.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, and we start at 9. It says, "Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine?"
So we like brothers that come to class in ISUPK, they get this scripture here. This is Isaiah. This is something that was written. The scriptures tell you how you're supposed to understand the Bible, who's going to receive the knowledge and the doctrine. But then you'll have, somebody in a church, and they'll tell you, "Oh, just do this." And you'll find the scripture that you're looking for. Oh, God's going to speak to you personally. Why would God speak to you personally? And you go into the strip club every night, and when she takes a break to go to her car, you rocking the wheels off the Suburban.
Right.
The Most High going to speak to you? How's the Most High going to speak to you if you a deacon in the church and you trying to sleep with everybody's wife?
Right.
The Lord is not speaking to you, and he doesn't hear your prayers either. The scriptures also say that. Continue.
Kawakan. Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
So anybody got the answer on why we might need to read the scriptures like this? Go ahead.
To understand it, because it's broken into its parables. Some scriptures might be too much for some people to understand, like it's meat and it's milk.
Right.
If you want that precept.
That's a great answer. If you want to get that, also a reason why, and it'll tell you as we read further, one of the other reasons, but I want to get into one. All the doctrines that we've received from our oppressor can shadow and kind of fog up what the scriptures are really saying. Like, you'll read a verse, and because of religious, dogma, because of other religions from Christianity have been packed in, you won't understand what's being read right to you. Like, for a long time, for a very long time, until I got into the ISUPK, I didn't know that the Last Supper was Passover. I had no idea. Did y'all brothers know that when y'all was outside of the truth? Like, to literally read something and completely skip over the fact that Last Supper wasn't a little piece of bread and just wine, that was the Passover. So there was lamb there with bitter herbs. The king, Christ, Yahushua Mashiach, was actually keeping the Passover, but we wouldn't know that unless we, have the precepts upon precepts and understand what's going on. But go ahead. You wanted to read that?
Come, sir. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, and we can start at verse 1. It says, "And I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Christ." Verse 2, I had fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto you were not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able.
They still not getting it.
Right.
And Salakia, tell me the verse in the chapter and verse one more time.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 1 and 2.
And Corinthians, who is the one that is in Corinth?
Paul and the other Israelites.
Paul. So a lot of times, because you don't have the precepts upon precepts, you don't understand what Paul's even talking about.
Right.
Let me get that for you. And this is 2 Peter. 2 Peter gives it to you for the sake of time, because we're bouncing all around right now. This is the book of 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 16. Also in all his epistles. Hold on, matter of fact, let me go on. I'll go to 15. And account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation. So we know what that means, right? We know that we need to strive and not give up for that salvation. Even as our beloved brother Paul also, according to the wisdom given unto him, hath written unto you. Who gave Paul the wisdom? The Most High. The Most High gave Paul the wisdom. Verse 16. As also in all his epistles, speaking them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest. You got brothers that'll read Paul's scriptures, and because they don't understand, they'll say that Paul was going against the Most High, or Paul was going against the other apostles. When 2 Peter gives you proof right here that that's not the case. Let me see if I can find a precept for this. Let me see. I might be shooting from the hip with this one. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. So people will say that Paul is this, that, and the fourth. They don't understand the scriptures because not only have they not been taught properly, they can't even understand the milk scriptures, and they're going to the meat scriptures. In 1 Corinthians 9 and 1, it says, am I not an apostle? Like, how did this make it into the Bible? If Paul is wrong, if Paul is this and that and not supposed to be there, if Paul is some sinner that is lower than the other, apostles, why is it saying, am I not an apostle? That's 1 Corinthians 9 and 1. He says, am I not free? Have I not seen Jesus Christ, our Lord? Like, study yourselves approved, because after a while, there won't be any excuse. All right, Salakia, we can get back to it. Let me see where we were. All right. So let me let's go back to study yourselves approved one more time. So I want to read a little something to help, our other brothers out that they don't read the Bible. They read a different book for their, their religious dogma.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God.
All right. So let me help us out. A lot of brothers get it confused, and they believe that either Islam is the absolute way, or they believe that Islam and Christianity are pretty much the same and they can follow both. And that's not the case. If you study yourself approved, you'll be able to pick apart what brothers bring to you when it's not true concerning the Bible. Let me help y'all out and read something real quick. It says, let me see where I want to go. All right, so before Islam had Allah, the Arabs had what was called, I'll just read it. The term is pre-Islamic Arabia, and that's what Arabs had before they had one God. It says, in pre-Islamic Arabia, the sanctuary known as the Kaaba in Mecca was a central place of worship for various polytheistic Arabian tribes and is widely believed to have contained approximately 365 idols. When we hear Kaaba, what does that remind you of? When y'all hear Kaaba?
Salakia, sir. The stone in Mecca.
Absolutely. And they act like that stone is something that has to do with one God. But even in pre-Islamic Arabia, it mentions the fact that that had to do with them going to a central location and dealing with 360 idols. It's probably more. How many days in a year? 365. They almost had a God for every single day. And it says this number roughly corresponds to the days of the year. Go ahead. And if I could real quick, we know calendars were different back then. So it's quite possible, you know, this is just me talking, I'll do more research on it, that their calendar might have been a little different with the days of the days in a year. Go ahead, Salaki.
Salaki, sir. I was going to say, doesn't this story sound similar to Abraham's father?
It absolutely does. And one of the things that we need to realize is the Bible does not need a mate. The Bible doesn't need any other book. You can't say, well, the Bible needs the Quran with it. The Bible needs a Talmud with it. No, it doesn't. The Bible doesn't need that. The scriptures, you know, even say that. Hold on a second. Did I erase all my notes just now? It's lying. But the Bible, matter of fact, let me just go to it real quick. And for the sake of the class flow, I'm gonna stop trying to jump around everywhere. Let me see if I can find it. And if I can't, I bet I'll find it later. Let me see. All right, I believe it's Isaiah 34, starting at verse 16. If somebody could read that for me.
Oh, now we got a comment in the chat. Somebody. Only One Decision says, I don't follow Islam, bro, but I know it has some truth to it because they mimic the Bible.
Okay. So let's see. So if something isn't the whole truth, do you want to deal with that? What would you rather have? And let's use a woman. Would you rather have a woman that's going to tell you the truth sometimes, or a woman that's going to tell you the truth all the time? Would you want somebody that's going to do good to you all the time, or good to you some of the times?
Right.
Because of course there are scriptures in the Quran that are plagiarized, and that's an excellent point that, you know, is being brought out. Go ahead.
So like, I got a precept too for what you're saying.
No sweat.
In the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 17, it says, even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
Right.
A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
That's perfect. There's no good fruit that can come out of the Quran for us.
Right.
Let the Arabs have that. They actually upgraded when they went from pre-Islamic Arabia to the Quran, because what they did was they stole and plagiarized from us. I'm gonna get Isaiah 34:16, and then I'm gonna give you a point of reference, because what's in the scriptures and what we had predates the Quran. Isaiah 34:16 says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord. What's the book of the Lord? The Bible, the scriptures, the book of the law. It says, and read, no one of these shall fail. When it says no one of these shall fail, that's talking about the scriptures.
Right.
But if you read the Quran, a lot of those surahs and scriptures are going to fail you because they're not rooted in truth. It says, none shall want her mate. that is the part that you need to understand. That means there is no other book that you could pair with the Bible and supplement what you need from the Most High. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. The Most High said we don't need no other book. We don't need another religion. We don't need another doctrine. If I could, let me go down. Pause. Let me see. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6, if you could. All right, and I'm gonna read something for you. Let's see. Hold that for me real quick. Let me see if I can find what I got. Sent the lock around. All right. So this is in the Quran. This is Surah chapter 2 and verse 47. And there's different translations. I'll read the one from, it says Pick T Hall or something like that. It says, "O children of Israel." Okay, why would the Quran be referencing the children of Israel? The children of the Quran are supposed to be the Arabs. What was his name? Muhammad? Wasn't he their prophet?
Right.
He was an Arab, right?
Concert.
You know, our king, our major prophet, our person that we're supposed to follow is Yahushua Mashiach, who the world so ignorantly called Jesus Christ.
That's right.
If you're talking about Christ, you should know that you're talking about the Israelites. If you're talking about Muhammad, you should know that you're talking about the Arabs. This says, "O children of Israel." This is the Quran. It says, "Remember my favor, wherewith I favored you, and how I preferred you to all creatures." What this is not only plagiarism, but it's also a plea to get us as Israelites to believe in Allah when Allah is not our God. Allah is not a real God for us. But doesn't that sound familiar when it says, "I preferred you"? Because preferred means chose. Let me get another translation that might say chose. Let's see. It might just keep saying preferred. Yeah, most of them say preferred. That's another word for chose, preference. Like if I have preference, I'm going to choose that thing that I have preference with. But let's get to Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. Because this is plagiarism. This is something that was taken from our book and then given to another people, but still in our name. That's mixed up in itself, ain't it? What does Allah have to do with the children of Israel? Nothing. Us serving Allah puts us in chains. It has us in the what's the slave trade that they had? The sub-Saharan slave trade. That's where Allah gets us. The scriptures, the Most High, Yahushua, that gets us free.
Right.
But let's go ahead and read Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6.
Khan. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. "For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself,
Mm-hmm.
above all people that are upon the face of the earth."
That's pretty much what this is trying to say here. I'll read another version of it. It says, and this is in Surah 2 and 47 in the Quran, "Children of Israel, remember how I blessed you and favored you over other people." Like this is, we should understand that we got something special, that the Most High gave us something special, something that can get us through the wisdom of the Most High out of every single situation that we're in. This plagiarism came. And that's why I go back to 2 Timothy 2 and 15, when we should be studying ourselves approved for the Most High. All right. If I could, let me get 1 Corinthians chapter 5, 7 through 8. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and see if this is a part where I should read this book right here. We'll get to that in a second. Give me 1 second.
Salakia, sir, you said verse 8.
1 Corinthians chapter 5, and we can start at verse 7, but I just wanted to just make a point. There's a lot of brothers and sisters who have not studied the scriptures. They don't, wear out the doorstep of the men that actually know the scriptures. So in their mind, the small hats that are over in Tel Aviv, to them, those are actually the people of the book. Like in their mind, through all the evil that has been done, through all of everything that has been shown to us, in their mind, they still believe that, what's his name? That's pretty much in rulership over there. I forget his Netanyahu. They believe Netanyahu is related to Jesus Christ. Like he's really the people of the book. And he is commander in chief of a modern day onslaught of people that can't defend themselves. But you think that he's the people of the book. They call black people monkeys. They come into our neighborhoods and try to steal our houses. They steal houses that don't belong to them, stateside and abroad. But they the people of the book. They come over here, and before they left, they were in different countries bringing pornography. Who is the head of the corn industry? It is the so-called Jewish man, the small hat. But they are the children of the book. What description in the book? What is in the book that would give somebody that type of mindset to think that they are the children of the book? Absolutely nothing. You haven't studied the book. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for, Salakia. I just want to read something. All right, let me see. All right, let me see. All right, I'll start here. So this is the book by Michael Bradley, the author who wrote Chosen People from the Caucasus. We're going to start on page 25. I believe this is chapter 1. All right. It says, it starts off talking about a lecture, and the lecture was talking about how aggressive Caucasians are. And this is a so-called Caucasian man that is saying this. It says, the end of the talk branched off into the theme of this book. It says that if Caucasians as a whole were more aggressive than other major groups of humanity, then the Jews, and he's talking about Jewish people, Jews, and these are his beliefs. This is what he's writing. These are not my words, so don't clip our channel for what he's saying. But this is a well-studied historian in secular history. All right. It says Jews could be considered as an extra aggressive culture and ethnic expression within the Caucasian race. This Southern white man, Michael Bradley, is admitting and acknowledging the fact that the small hat is of the Caucasian race. But the actual Jews of the Bible, the 12 tribes of Israel, are not Caucasian. Right. Caucasians are from the Caucasus Mountains. They are descendants of the fathers of Idumea, Edom. That has nothing to do with being an Israelite, but I'll continue. That has nothing to do with being a Jew. It says, and this accounted for their inordinate influence in Western civilization. So he's saying because of how aggressive the small hat, the Jewish, is, this accounts for how their presence is just felt everywhere. Like there's not a place in the world that they can't reach right now. They are just a subset of Caucasians, and they are a small number that call themselves Jewish. But man, they so strong in this world, aren't they? Don't they dictate how black people are shown on TV? Don't they dictate how our music sounds? Don't they play songs about Sexy Red having, communicable diseases that come from sex? Right. Isn't that what they do? We don't even have control over the things I just named. We don't have control over our image. They do. That is an aggressive thing to do to a people. That's an aggressive quality to have. And this book is talking about it. It says the lecturer also pointed out that the vast majority of contemporary Jews have no historical or genetic relationship to ancient Palestine at all. Where they at right now? They in ancient Palestine, right? They taking the homes of those so-called Palestinians, right?
All right.
This book was written in the 90s. They're doing it today. It says most of them are descendants of Russian steppe tribesmen who were converted to Judaism in mass around 70-40 AD. That's after the death of Christ. That's when they were converted. But a brother will tell you that they the chosen people of the book. A brother tell you that we are converts. That replacement theology that's been drilled into his head because he didn't study is something that is actual fact in his mind when it's the furthest thing from the truth.
Right.
If I could, can somebody read 1 Corinthians 5:7-8? Because if we study, we would know that we don't keep Easter, we keep something else. We would know that the direction we should be going is talked about in the New Testament when it comes to keeping the Lord's high holy days. Whenever you're ready.
Khan. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven.
So, matter of fact, hold on. Let me see. Let me get there with you because I might want to read something above it so we understand exactly what we're talking about. 1 Corinthians, chapter 5. All right, I'll just read real quick and then we can get to it because there's a lot of things that was going on in Corinth. There was some nasty stuff going on.
Come.
Paul was coming to tell the people, and this is something that we should study because right now we got some disgusting things that are happening in our community. Like when we go to the hood, it's a common thing for brothers and sisters to be fighting, to be, in adultery, to be in a lifestyle of homosexuality. That's a common thing that's amongst our people. But back in the day, they had, similar issues, but there was one I believe they talk about here. Let me see if I can find it. It says, it is reported commonly, and this is 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 1. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife. That's crazy. That's what he's talking about. Paul is talking about this thing right here. And this is another thing. If a man has his father's wife, that means they're not talking about his mother because it would have said his mother.
Slocky, sir. I was about to say
right.
That some Christians will argue and say that's his mother.
But what should they do? They should study themselves approved. All right. And it says, and ye are puffed up and have not rather mourned that he have done this deed might be taken away from among you. You puffed up. You don't even acknowledge the fact that Christ died for you and can take that sin away if you don't do it anymore. If you put those transgressions of the law behind you, you can become a new creature. Paul's going to talk about it. Y'all should study and read about it at home as well. All right, let's get it. 1 Corinthians 5 and 7.
Khan, this is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven.
Don't sleep with your father's wife. Don't go around the corner and shoot up a brother's house and accidentally hit a 3-year-old that's sleeping in her bed.
Right.
Don't pull up on the late night when a brother's at work and take his rib out and y'all doing unspeakable things. Don't steal packages off of people's steps that don't belong to you.
Right.
Don't be wicked. Continue.
That ye may be a new lump.
You can be a new lump. That leaven is talking about the things that puff you up, because Paul said they were puffed up. This leaven that needs to be taken out is that wickedness, that sin that's in these people.
That's right.
And they can be a new lump. They can be that new bread, that new creature that Paul was talking about. Continue.
As ye are unleavened.
Yeah, you can be unleavened. You can be pure. Read.
For even Christ, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
Let's acknowledge that. Let's acknowledge the fact that Christ didn't die so you can eat a Baconator. He didn't die so you can sleep with somebody's wife.
Right.
He didn't die so you can shoot up a birthday party and hit children that are supposed to go to school on a weekday. That's not what Christ died for. You don't need to keep living in that wickedness. And if you read the scriptures, precept upon precept, if you rightfully divided them, you would understand this. Continue.
Therefore, let us keep the feast.
Let us keep the what?
The feast.
The Passover. What annual Passover is it now? It's the y'all get me right on it.
It's the
Yeah, get it for me. Let's get it right. Because that's something that we need to make sure that we all go to the Passover. Is it the 57th?
I believe it's the 57th.
I believe it's the 57th. If we wrong, somebody put it in the chat and get us right. But therefore, let us keep the feast.
It's the 57th.
It is the 57th Passover, and there are going to be people that are going to see an Easter bunny, and they're going to hide eggs in the grass. You didn't study the Bible. Your life right now is a test. It is a test to see if you are going to do what you are supposed to do. The scriptures have it all through there how people were tested. Y'all tell me who was tested in the scriptures? Job. That's exactly what I was looking for. Even Christ was tested. Some devil said he would give him the kingdom, the whole world. Christ said no. He was tested, and he was proven to be our Lord and Savior.
Right.
Job, even when Satan tempted him and tested him, Job came out through that fire. Go ahead.
It's like it. Even when his rib turned on him and said, "Curse God," he still held fast and was
had that Jezebel spirit.
Yeah, he was like, "What am I only supposed to bless God for the good and not the bad?"
You feel me?
So yeah, he was faithful too.
You know what I saw, and I'll be seeing people with these little things that be going on. You need to realize when something terrible is going on in your life, you being tested.
Right.
Because God forbid if you being punished because you're supposed to be walking right. But a lot of times you being tested. How does God gonna show you who you really are if he's going to give you $500,000 every day? If you don't go through no struggle in your life, if you don't gotta put the top ramen with the with the Alfredo sauce on there, in your lifetime. If you don't gotta go through not knowing, who your real friends are, and you come up in here and you finally realize, right? You need to be tested. You need to understand that you need to study these scriptures. The Most High test you, and you need to pass that test. All right. So verse 8, let me get the top of verse 8 one more time.
Verse 8, therefore let us keep the feast, not with the old leaven.
Man, when we go into that Passover, don't keep that old wickedness that you was fighting with. Don't keep that. All that BS that you was doing before, man, don't do it no more. For even Christ, our Passover, is sacrificed for us. Study that. Don't let people tell you that you can continue to sin in spite of Christ being crucified on the cross. Man, these Christians really think Christ died so they can continue to molest children.
Right.
And they get it from the Catholic Church, the biggest gang of molesters on earth. And then it just goes around and around and around, and they think that they can say, "God, please forgive me," before they die. And that's not the case, and you would know that if you study. One more time, verse 8.
Verse 8, therefore let us keep the feast, not with the old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness.
Man, don't hate your brother. Don't come to the Passover with an issue. Get that solved. But with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. That's what we're here to tell you about, the truth.
That's right.
And we're going to read how when we tell you the truth, we become your enemy. Let me get Jeremiah 10:2, because the common theme of this is study thyself, approve. If somebody comes to you and says, "Yo, we going Easter egg hunting," it's not so. You're not doing that because you studied and you know what you're supposed to be doing. And you can give them 1 Corinthians 5:7-8 to show them why they should be keeping the feast. Because in the scriptures, when it says Easter, what that's really meaning is Passover, Pascha, not Ishtar, fertility with the eggs and the bunnies. Because rabbits, they have a lot of recreation. They mate a lot, and a lot of rabbits come out. The egg is a sign of fertility. Don't worship another god when you're supposed to be keeping the Passover. All right. That brother had any more? I forgot we had talked to that. Okay, no sweat. Hopefully he gets the point. Lord be with him. All right. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2, because December 25th is coming up, and people believe there was a sweet white baby Jesus who was in a manger, and they believe he was born on the same day as Sol Invictus. They believe he was born on the same day as the unconquered sun. They believe he was born on the same day of the Egyptian god Tammuz. Hold on, do me a favor. Look up when what's that dude's name that was chopped up? I'll be forgetting his name. He was chopped up. No. He
Nimrod.
It's in the Bible. Nimrod. When is Nimrod's birthday? Good night. They believe that sweet white baby Jesus was born on Nimrod's birthday, Sol Invictus's birthday, and Tammuz's birthday.
Ain't that crazy?
Like that's what you believe. It's because you didn't study. It's because you don't know nothing, and you're gullible, and you're easily able to be tricked. It's like that girl that never been out the house, that don't know nothing. So some smooth slick cat can game her up and get her to sneak out the house, and the next thing you know, she's pregnant at 14. She don't know nothing. She ain't have nothing to study. She didn't have wise counsel in her house to tell her about Jody around the corner that was going to come scoop her up and get her pregnant and ruin her life and leave her with a baby to be raised and not help her out. That's what you are. That's why that pastor can convince you to give up your absolute last dollar to where you can't even catch the train home, to where you think that there is a white baby that was born on the continent of, the tectonic plates that they call Africa, and he's white, and you think that he has the birthday of 3 other gods, December 25th. But anyway, you would know that if you study, that's not true. Jeremiah 10 and 2, you're going to learn that you shouldn't be celebrating Christmas, and baby Jesus wasn't white, etc., etc. And Salakia, who's reading? Most High Christ. Hey, Salakia, Block and Rob, if I can get a little, if you can see me one more time.
Sir.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the ways of the heathen.
Ain't that what we do day in and day out? Don't we learn the way of the heathen in every single way? Whether it's Easter, whether it's even something as small as eating a raw steak. Yeah, that's the wild. Yeah, that's the wild. Even if it's eating a bloody steak, we learn the way of the oppressor when we know damn well. Matter of fact, no, Salakia. Yeah, no. But yeah, anything, it don't matter. Yes, Most High Christ. Let me get there with you, because I think I want to go up a little bit more. We need to keep these in our mind. We need to have the Most High's laws written on our hearts to where we understand wholeheartedly what he wants from us, and we can hate every other way. We can hate every other way. It's a lot of weird things that Black people have started doing, Hispanics and Native Americans have started doing, because we have learned the ways of our oppressor. Birthdays. Right. Birthdays, I'm going to keep telling people this so they can understand and they can use it as a weapon in conversation. Birthdays are originally from Egypt. Birthdays come from when the pharaoh became a pharaoh. He wasn't a pharaoh first. When he was ordained as a pharaoh, he was ordained as a pharaoh, and that became his new birth. That was his birthday. Israelites don't celebrate their birthdays.
Right.
So why would we celebrate the king of Israelites' birthdays? He don't celebrate his own birthday. You know what he was doing in December? He was on Solomon's porch, and he was keeping the Feast of Dedication, which is called the Hanukkah. But if you studied, you would know that, right? Right. Because if you don't study, you're going to be in a fake Israelite group. Yeah. If you don't study, you're going to be in a fake Israelite group, and some woman is going to be parting your cheeks like the Red Sea. It's going to happen because it happened already. It's going to happen. All right. Jeremiah 10:2, but I think I might want to start at 1. Let me see. All right, yeah, let's start at verse 1.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter.
And we getting ready to wrap it up.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
You talking to the Arabs or are you talking to us?
Talking to us.
You talking to the children of Israel. I like this. Talk to me.
Live and direct.
Verse 2.
Verse 2. Thus saith the Lord.
This come from the Lord. Jeremiah is speaking the Lord's words from his mouth. He was given that authority to tell the children of Israel this.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the heathen. Do you know that they used to worship the tree because the evergreen tree didn't die in the winter? And coming from the Caucasus Mountains, when you don't see leaves on the trees, when everything is just covered in snow and ice, and even the waters are froze, even the smallest amount of sun is something that they worship. But it says, learn not the way of the heathen, and what?
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Man, study this, because I'm going to read something for you real quick. In the polytheistic religions of Arabia, most of the gods were originally associated with heavenly bodies. So they worshiped and were dismayed at the signs of heaven. That's not the way we're supposed to be. Continue.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Aren't they? Didn't we just read? And I believe that's from the Encyclopedia Britannica. They are dismayed at the signs of heaven. But what happened when they came across some real ones? They went to one God and tried to pretend that Kaaba stone was not an idol. They switched it all the way up. Their book even referenced us. Continue.
For the customs of the people are vain.
For the customs of the people are false. Continue.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
A Christmas tree. Continue.
The work of the hands of a workman with an axe.
With an axe. That's what they did. Now we have Walmart. We have Target. We have all these stores where you can go buy a tree from. You don't got to go to the forest and cut some tree out and battle some bear for some tree that's going to burn your house down when it gets dry. Now you can just go to the store and sin against the Lord with ease. Continue.
Right. They deck it with silver and gold.
Well, hold on. Let me get that. No, I forgot because it's been a while. On Christmas, I don't sit up and drink eggnog and watch Home Alone. I don't know the songs anymore. It's called, what's it called? Deck the Halls?
Deck the Halls.
Ain't that what it's called?
No, sir.
It says, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la. Do y'all know that wreath that people put on their house back in the day, that was like a thing of worship, and that we're doing it today?
Khan, I want to say Greece, Olympus, those
were the people that were doing it.
I want to say like Rome, Greece, like and Olympus and all that. Like that's where they get that from. Salakia.
Let me see if I can find a little bit on it because I have a class on it, but I don't want to dig into those.
Salakia. So they was wearing it on their head as well. I want to say.
Night. If I could, it says wreaths have deep historical roots in worship and spiritual symbolism, originating in pagan traditions for winter solstice celebrations. Like, come on, man, we trying to help y'all out, because when Christ comes back, if you ain't get it right, it might be too late. We pray and we have faith that you will turn away from what the heathen has shown you, but you have to be a part of that. But continue. They deck the halls, or excuse me, Salakia, they deck it.
They deck it with silver and gold.
Right.
They fasten it with nails and hammers.
Why?
That it move not.
Because once you cut a tree down, you need it to be able to stand up. Back in the day, it didn't come with a post. Even in the 90s, or excuse me, in the 80s and like the 70s, before it was a commercial thing, you couldn't just get a tree and have a stand. You had to build one, or you had to, fasten it down. Verse 5.
Verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
They are upright as the palm tree.
Because a lot of the traditions that come in paganism come from Egypt. They come from Babylon. These are traditions that continue to circle. That disgusting spirit of sinning against the Most High and going against God is something that has a revolving door. It follows all of these heathenistic cultures. Continue.
But speak not.
The tree can't speak. You know how spooky black people are. They think they thought the tree was going to come alive. Let's read about that.
Not they must need be born.
The tree needs to be carried. It can't walk itself. That needs to be born means it needs to be carried. That's an old English term. That's why precept is upon precept, because these scriptures were translated from a completely different language. And unless you know the scriptures, you're going to be reading it out of context. Unless you study, you're not going to understand, because that culture that we had back then and the way we spoke is completely different. If you think about it this way, it was translated from a different culture. It was translated from a different time into a form of English that we don't even speak anymore. It was translated into Old English. We speak a new revised version of English, where black people's slang is getting added to the dictionary. You think you're going to be able to read the scriptures and just on a whim without getting a proper teaching?
Salaki, sir. And if you go over to England right now and try to talk like you talking, they're going to tell you speaking broken English.
You a Yankee.
Yeah. Kind.
Yeah, and Salaki, also just to add to the point that you were saying, if you go in the first monologue in Ecclesiasticus, I'm not going to read it because it's very long, but if you go towards the end, it'll say that things uttered in Hebrew have not the same power when they're translated in other tongues.
Right.
So,
because it can't even have that power if you don't understand it.
right.
When it say for God loved the world, that context means something else. That doesn't mean the earth, because if you read in different scriptures, the scriptures will mention the earth and the worlds in the same verse. There's a context to it. Even the Quran says worlds. In one of the translations that I read, they had the concept in that context. But go ahead.
Because
they are upright as the palm.
Because they cannot go, but be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Salakia, let me get back to where we was. Let me get so we went over don't celebrate Easter. Study them scriptures to know what you should be doing in your life. Don't celebrate Easter, celebrate the Passover. Keep the Passover. Don't celebrate Christmas. Keep the feast of dedication, Hanukkah. You got the feast of Purim. Don't keep Thanksgiving. Why shouldn't you keep Thanksgiving? Let's read Habakkuk 2:12. So once you get studied, you should have an answer when somebody comes up against the Bible and what the truth is. You should have an answer for them. You should start studying, because you're in need of milk. You don't need the meaty part of the scriptures, because you can't digest it as a baby when it comes to your understanding. Because what does it say? The Bible has parables and similitudes. But go ahead, read.
Kawakan, this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity.
Man, the Trail of Tears. Didn't they build a town with blood when they stole the United States from the Native Americans? Didn't they go to war with the Mexicans who abolished slavery and slaughter them after blacks and Hispanics had won the Alamo? Why would we celebrate these people when they're celebrating sinning against the Most High? It says, woe to them, destruction to them that would build a town with blood and establish a city with iniquity. I'm paraphrasing, but that is the premise of Thanksgiving, isn't it? The blood that they spilled, the bones that were covered and cities were put over top, they celebrate that when they celebrate Thanksgiving. So when somebody says, man, I got the day off, man, I'm going to celebrate Thanksgiving. If someone unalived your children, mother, father, and stole everything, would it be a good thing to celebrate that years down the line because the people who did it were in power and gave you a day off of work? No. What will be a good thing is to hear that you are going to get justice for what happened. We don't take it personal enough because we haven't studied the scriptures and don't know that this is our story. We don't know that slavery is in the Bible. We don't know that the oppression that we face every day is in the Bible because we don't study. We on DraftKings. We effing up the check with parlays. They watching I don't know if it's called Bad Girls Club anymore, but Baddies. They watching as my wife calls it, brain rot. That's what they watching.
Yeah.
Get into these scriptures. It's okay to have fun, but don't make fun your life.
Right.
Because when all of these amenities that the devil offered you are completely gone, the scriptures, the Most High, Christ is all you're going to have. And you're going to be behind the curve. And the men that you pointed at, threw bottles at, told us to shut the F up on the street when we were trying to help you and get you prepared for what's coming, you're going to have to come to us. And you're going to have to get it right. Because the devil is going to cast you out. Right. They already trying to destroy the HBCUs. Donald Trump is orchestrating to where they're making it to where HBCUs can't even accept too many black people anymore. They're making that a rule now. Right. The devil is going to show you who it really is.
Right.
All right. That was Passover. So keep that. Do not keep Easter. Christmas. Do not keep that. Do not keep Christmas, and don't keep Thanksgiving. Let me get Hebrews 5 and 12, but I think we about to get up out of here. I'll get to Joel next time.
Khan. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, and verse 12. For when for the time ye ought to be taught to be teachers.
Right. In order for you to be a teacher, you need to be taught. Continue.
Ye have need that one teach you again.
Ain't that what I just said? Salakia. Let's read it from the top one more time so brothers can understand they can't just watch a couple of videos and then jump out into the streets.
Right.
And then get beat up by a gang of Christians or cut by them for that matter.
Book of Hebrews chapter 5 verse 12. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God.
Damn right. All right, I'm going to read this one and I'm going to go ahead and pass the class over. I want y'all to remember this because this is the issue that Paul was having too. This is the issue that you are going to have once you come in here, you get it right, and you tell people the truth. It says, this is Galatians chapter 4 and verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? All right. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass the class over to priest and officer, Locker Rob. Okay, yeah, I was about to ask you if you wanted to turn it.
Yeah, do it that way. Oh, here it goes. There, man.
I can fix it. I know which way to put it. It's all good.
Yeah, stuck.
All right, you can go ahead and stand up there, and you can just see where it's supposed to be. Salakia, y'all.
We're gonna get through these announcements.
All right. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother and sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and shed themselves from the world. If they need transportation, a teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister have a particular interest in a person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Ma'ashra means 10th in Hebrew. 10th of every penny of every increase the Lord gives you. Priest fund is not mandatory. It's free will, whatever you feel in your heart to give. Up and coming holy convocations. This Sunday, we got the Feast of Dedication coming up. So if you're a Black, Hispanic, or a Native, we're going to be holding it here in Delaware at 51 Blue Hen Drive. So if you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native, come out and keep the feast days with us.
Right.
And if any young man want to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black pants, headbands, boots, and scarf. And with that being said, men of Israel, Midram, we're going to give a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Midram Shabbat, Midram, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahshua Barakathon, Yazmatah, which means hands down, Sar, which means the turn. We're going to give the sisters a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Midram Shabbat, Midram, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Alatham, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Yazmatah, which means hands down. Class dismissed.